So in this tutorial, I want to show you step by step how you can structure your backend folder for a good practice. So saying that you are using to-do list, you are creating a to-do list app, and your main file, your root is to-do list 2, and you have to create the public the public the public folder. The public folder contains static files that are visible to public, like indexed est, est, index.html, script.js, for example. Let's say it. Inside that folder, you can find index index html, script.js, and inside here you can also uh, have the asset for folders. You see, to to add some photo, some photo if you want. So all that for photo for logos, you can add it here. So all that folder contains the files that are visible to people. So everyone can see that that files, especially when you send an email to your user. So next, in the CRC, the source folder, the source folder is the folders that contains all the files required to handle server. So inside here is the heart of your server, the heart of your server. Inside that folder, you can find the config folder, the config folder, where you can write the in that folder you can add your database configuration and many other things. Inside that folder, we can find the controller. So what is that? The control? The controller is the folder that contains the business logic. All the business logic is containing in that that folder. So in that folder, we can add something like the auth controller, the auth controller, or you can add also the product controller, or you can name it, you can give it any name you want. So after that folder, next we have the motherwares folder. In this folder, you can find this file contains all all the malwares that handles the authentication and error error handlers. You can handle errors here, and you can add the authentication of the user in this folder. So here you can add, for example, if you want to protect uh, let's say authentication. Yes, write it here, authentication, and you can also add, for example, error handler .js, for example. So all the 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 the, the, the root, the protection of the your server is handled with this folder, the malwares folder. It contains all that files will protect your server. So next, here in the models, this is where you can design your schema. Let's say that you want to use to create the user schema. Let's say user model, you add it here. In that file, you can add the user mode. You can design the user model. Next, we have the node modules. This folder contains the files and folder regarding installed files and dependencies that you are used in this project. All the installations files for dependencies are stored in node modules. It is very heavy. So next, so as you can see, all the file is inside. It's very heavy. So next we have the root. The root, this folder contains all the roots and endpoint of your business logic. So next, here we can find the service. If you want to add some useful feature in your app, something stuff is search functionality, email, for example, you can add search, for example, search service, for example, .js. Let's make underscore, or email, for example. Email service. Or for more example, the payment also. The payment service, you can add it here. So next, we have the validation folder. This folder contains all the validation of the request. For example, you can add user validation with auth validation. It's useful just to validate the user request, because you can trust the user. Since you can't trust the user, it's better practice to add the user authentication, the user validation. You validate the request the request of your users in order to be sure that you have the information that you want. So next here is the view folder. That view folder contains all all the files that handle, for example, the email template. You see, when you receive some, I give example, when you receive some email, it can be a marketing email or the email of the notification email from uh, diverse different service. It can be Google, Amazon, or many other platform. When they send you a email notification, that template is stored here. Email template, for example. So email template, email, for example, email notification, email notification, for example. Next, we have the NVM file. The NVM file stands for Environment Variables of Application. This file contains details about environment variable like API keys, the, the private salt of a payment gateway, and many others details that should be kept private. You see, for example, depot, the your password, you can store it in using the env file. So the git ignore is where you can store all the files that you don't want user you don't want git to store. So in this file you tell git to ignore all that file because it it contains the sensitive or heavy information. Sensitive information or heavy for folder. So next we have the index.js is here. This is the main your server. Your server is this is the main file of your server. It contains all uh, all your server logic and functionality. So next we have the package log the package log.json and the package json. So it's provided with the dependencies. So this package is for it contains all the logic, all the dependencies that make function your server. So this is contains all information and it's very easy. That's why we ignore it because we don't need it. We don't need all this information. So we use only that files because it's more readable and you can it handles all your dependencies that make work your your server. So why why Node.js project structure is important? The project structure shows the organizations of code and files, and a clean, simple, and decent project structure shows a clean written code, which helps to debug code and another developer can easily read it. It organizes files easily. When you structure your code, it when you structure your code like this properly, it's easy to read and simplify the life of many other developers. You see, so some best practice for Node.js project structure. So it is best practice to create a folder for the Node.js application, separate files according to their work. You need to separate folder according to the work. Don't put all together. Separate them in the correct directories. For example, business logic should be present in the controller folder, and also standardize the naming convention of the application so that it will be easy to verify the logic and presence of any particular file or folder. So to conclude, uh, creating a well-organized folder structure is important for maintaining a Node.js project. It increases it increases readability, maintainability, and scalability of the application. By adopting a well structure, it will be easy to manage code. That's all. So thank you very much for listening this tutorial. I hope this tutorial was very helpful for you. So see you in the next tutorial for more practical project. Thank you very much.